And you have a choice whether you want kids or not. And yeah, it is selfish wanting kids, and it is selfish not wanting kids, because it's all about what we want. But life should be all about what we want, because we only have ourselves. Like, the only person you know for sure that you have your entire life is yourself. So it's okay to be selfish. Hello everyone, and welcome back on my channel. So what I want to do today is I want to read some stories from the Facebook page, I Regret Having Children. I want to read some of the shorter stories on this Facebook page side today. And what I really like about a page like this is that it gives people a voice to say that they regret having children, because that is kind of taboo in the world, saying that you regret having children. And I like how it's anonymous, so the people on this page do not get any hate, and people cannot find out who they are. So that is what I really like about this page, is that it's anonymous and it makes people have a voice on a topic that is usually taboo. That's why I really like making videos like this, where I talk about what I think about these stories. I just think it's really important that stories like these are out there. It's very brave of the people who have shared their stories, so that other people can see the negative side of having children. It's important that we see all sides of something, so I think it's as important that people who love having kids share their stories as it is that people regret having children sharing their stories. So we need all the sides to one story to figure out what is right for us. And so I just really love pages like this. I'm going to go right into the first story that says, I'm not happy. I do everything for everybody all day long. Clean, I cook, I change diapers, I keep them from hitting each other. I'm constantly repeating myself, I'm constantly caring for everybody else. Then when it's time for bed, everybody goes to sleep and I go to work. I do the same thing over and over every day. I do not have any time for myself. I do not have any adult interactions. My relationships is more like a roommate situation. He stays away from me and the kids at all times. I get to shower once a week, twice if I'm lucky. I never get to fix my hair, do my makeup, have peace. I never have time for me, and I'm at my breaking point. I need an outlet. I need to feel happy. So this is also one of the reasons I do not want kids myself, is how much effort it takes from you having kids, and that you barely have any time for yourself. And if you have a partner that does not want to contribute, or does not want to contribute as much as you do, then yeah, that's a nightmare situation. So I really get how this woman is feeling. And I think one thing that would actually help is if she got a partner that would actually help, because it does not sound like the partner she has right now is helping. Like, he just avoids the kids. If it's a man, I just assume it is that this person's partner is a man, because usually it's the mom that does the most. And this is like a really big reason not to want kids, that like women in general, I think, do the most in relationships, especially when it comes to being a mom. I just hear this over and over again, how it's the mom that does the most, and I would not want this for myself. So I really feel for this woman, and I hope that she gets a partner in the least that can help her more, or that she finds some way to have more time for herself, maybe gets the kids watched or babysit by people she knows more often, so she has time for herself. And if it really hits a point where she can just not, like she's at her breaking point, so something has to change. And it's so hard, because it's like, what can you do in this kind of scenario? Because you can't just get rid of the kids, or you can, because you can adopt them out. It's really hard, but I hope she finds a solution to be more happy and have more time for herself. And maybe that is a new partner, or just getting the kids babysit more often. The next story says, does anybody else here feel like they were groomed by their sexist parents to get a husband and have kids? My whole upbringing was filled with, well, what would your future husband think about any choice I made, and never about what I actually wanted to do with my life. And I have both of those things and I feel so lost and unfulfilled. I'm 25 years old with 2 kids. One is 5 and the other is 2, and I love them to bits, but I feel so regretful. I miss youth, I miss having no responsibilities and being able to put myself into my art without being bothered every 5 minutes. I'm mentally exhausted, plus having to add on that I have recently found out that I'm autistic. It's just the cherry on the top. I see the signs in my kids too, and it's just so much to deal with. I love them, I really do, but they are so particular about everything, it's burning me out. Not to mention that my partner is like having another kid. Having this life was drilled into my head as a child and it's unfulfilling. Send me good vibes, please. So this is kind of along the same lines. Me personally, I have a lot of symptoms in common with autism underneath my schizotypical personality disorder. That's not uncommon. I think I actually might be autistic because I have so many signs. Either that or it's just, a part of my diagnosis. I haven't figured that out for myself yet. But I think one thing that people also really need to realize is that they have a choice, because the mom said she had it drilled in from a young age that what is most important is what her partner wants, what her husband wants, and not what she wants. And I think it's so important that these stories are out here because it can help people realize that they have a choice. And you have a choice whether you want kids or not. And yeah, it is selfish wanting kids, and it is selfish not wanting kids, because it's all about what we want. But life should be all about what we want, because we only have ourselves. Like, the only person you know for sure that you have your entire life is yourself. So it's okay to be selfish. And I'm sure that my boyfriend would help if we got a kid, but I'm also sure that I would be doing the most, and sometimes might feel like you had a third child. So yeah, that is also just my fears. So I feel for her. I hope she gets the right kind of help both for her and her kids, so she can help herself and her kids. And I hope she can find things in life that is more fulfilling for her in some way. But it's hard with kids, definitely is. I have 2 wins. I'm 28 and a single mother of 2, a 10-year-old and a 4-year-old. I love my kids with everything in me, and I would literally die for them. But I am so unhappy with my life. I don't have anyone else to blame but myself. They have 2 different fathers, and I should have never dealt with either of them. And now I'm paying for it. I work from home. I don't get anywhere. I don't have friends. I don't date. I'm always single and alone. I cook, clean, work, play with the kids, and then repeat. Every single day. Sometimes I daydream of a clean home and freedom. I wish I could wake up and just relax sometimes. I wish I could take naps when I want and sleep in when I want. I wish I could go outside for a walk alone or go have a drink alone. Lately I just cry every day because I have so many more years to go of this, and I'm not sure if I can handle it. I'm praying that God will help me out of this situation or help me with my depression. But I just feel like I'm drowning. I wish I was the happy mom that had energy every day, money to do stuff with them. I wish I was responsible enough to sleep with someone that could have helped me raise my children. I've ruined my life and now I'm stuck. When I was in high school, I had so much going for myself. I even started my own business, and that was going so well. And then I had to mess it up and have kids. This is rough, so rough, and I wish I could just redo life over. Things would be so different. But yeah, when it comes to this story, I think it's kind of the same thing over and over again, that people did not think it through when it comes to getting kids. So they did not think it through at all. And that's kind of the hard part, is when you did not think it through, because then you end up regretting it. So I think like what we can really take from these stories is that we should really think it through before we get kids. Kids are something that is such a huge responsibility. We really need to be as sure as we actually can that we either want them or do not want them. Of course, you never know what it's like having kids before you have them. It's just one of those things. But You can sit down and imagine what it would be like, and maybe take care of a kid, babysit. Just do all the things that you can for yourself to inform you whether you're making the right or wrong decision for you. Just so you know whether having kids or not having kids is the right thing for you. And I think what a lot of these people also have is like something mental. They have a mental disease to fight with. Like the last person had autism, this person has a depression. So there's a lot of mental illnesses going on in these stories as well that just makes it so much harder. And just saying that she wants to redo her life, like, that must be such a hard thing. Like, I think we all have things we regret, but having kids and regretting that, like, that's something you just can't change. You can always give them up for adoption, but maybe that makes them have a bad life. And then you have worries for the rest of your life about how their life is going. What I think, like I say about these stories a lot of the time, is it's really not easy, and there really isn't a clear-cut solution. But I really hope she gets the help she needs for her mental illness, and I hope that she can somehow get these kids babysit so she can go out there dating and find a good man who will actually help her, so she has to do this herself. Because right now she has to do like everything, and that must be so hard. And her not like breaking, that's really crazy. Like, a lot of these moms just really, they're really strong people because they've taken on a job of raising kids, and that job is really, really hard. And especially when you are a mother, it's just expected of you that you do everything perfectly. It's not like you're getting applause for what you do, and more women should be applauded for what they do, because being a mom is fucking hard. And I hate how men can just change a diaper and then they applaud because they did something. Like, that's the bare minimum. As a parent, that's just what you should do. You should change a diaper. You should take care of your kids. But it's like, everything is expected of the mother and nothing is expected of the father. And I really hope this changes in the future, because the mom should not have so much pressure on her, both with raising the kids but also with societal expectations. Like, being a mom is so fucking hard, and it's not made easier by all the societal expectations that people have for moms. This is one of the big reasons I don't want kids either. It's just because all the societal expectations people have for moms, like, they are so high, these expectations that society has for moms. And that's why if you just see a video of a baby or something, there's so many people criticizing like the smallest things people do with their kids, and it's just so crazy. Like, people think they can have opinion about everything when it comes to you being a mom. Like, I really feel for these women, I really do. The next story says, I'm currently 40 weeks pregnant. I discovered my pregnancy too late to take the pills, and I was afraid to go the surgical route with feelings of guilt. I have been suffering from prenatal depression. My child's father also contributed to my pregnancy being quite miserable, as he didn't give me the emotional support as I thought he would. For approximately 1 month, I have been wishing that I could have a stillborn or the child would die from SCDs. I definitely do not want to do this again. I'm not telling women not to have babies, but if you decide to do so, be prepared to do it alone, meaning without the support of your family or child's father. I also want to encourage women to take pregnancy tests throughout the month to detect any nonsense, because I had my period while being pregnant. I felt as though my body tricked me at the grand age of 30. I've been sexually active since 19 and never had a pregnancy scare before. Sometimes I feel as though being a woman is a curse. You experience so many of the negative side effects of birth control, but it's necessary evil then to fall pregnant while on, because it's a mess. So again, I feel like it's kind of the same things he's saying as the other stories I've just read. He also has a mental illness, and he also talks about how she has to do it alone, like not having a partner that's there for her. I also think this is really hard, because it also depends, because sometimes the woman just chooses to have the kid and the man does not want to have the kid. So if it's a situation where he does not actually want a kid and the woman wants a kid, I kind of think it's fair that the woman should do it on her own. But if it's a situation where the man has pressured the woman into having a kid, or he just also wants a kid, then he should also be there for the kids. Like, I think it's so weird how men can opt out of being a parent, but a mother cannot. Like he should also be able to go on a walk for a liter of milk and a pack of cigarettes and never return. Why can fathers do that? Why can fathers not be there for the kids and mothers can't? Why is that more acceptable than a woman just opting out of being a parent? I feel so bad for her. I would also be really afraid of getting a pregnancy aborted surgically, but I would much rather go through that pain and that suffering than have a kid that I do not want and I cannot take care of. And I get her that she's afraid of regretting, but you should also turn around, rather regret not having kids than regret having them. Personally, I'm really on the fence, whether I want ever to get sterilized someday, whether I do not. Only get sterilized if I'm really sure I want it, and until then I'm on birth control, both for helping me with my menstrual pain that can get really bad, but also not because I do not want to get pregnant. The next story says, no one ever tells you how deeply unfulfilling raising a baby is. It breaks you and destroys your soul. I had a life full of hobbies that enriched me and challenged me daily. I had a job that I was just starting to be passionate about and excel in. I had a wife that I loved spending time with. We weren't rich, but we used money as means to enjoy life. Travel, go out to eat. I would learn and read every day. People would tell me they are bored, and I couldn't comprehend. If I had 5 separate lives, I wouldn't be able to fill them with everything I wanted to do. After the baby, that life disappears, vanishes. You become a house elf. Your days consist of monotonous tasks, never-ending chores, the same checklist over and over to make sure your baby survives. And you sleep deprived, and you're paying for this experience. And you hear people telling you that you will go through it eventually. What they don't tell you is that a part of your soul dies every day until there's nothing of your former beautiful soul left. So I think this might be from a man's perspective. I'm not exactly sure, but if it is from a man's perspective, that's really cool. I always love hearing for both perspectives, because men can regret having kids just as much as a woman can. And I think if you get bored doing the same task over and over again, it's hard having kids then, because it's just tasks that you have to repeat over and over again, a lot of other things you have to do in life. Yeah, and I just think not having the time to do things that fulfill you, get why his show would die a little more each day, because it's you're running on zero. You have to put someone before yourself all the time, so you're not really enjoying life, you could say, if you have to put someone before you all the time, because then you do not have time for yourself, and if you do not have time for yourself, you cannot fill up energy again, mental energy and physical energy, because you have to be there for someone all the time. And if you do not get sleep either, for me it really is a nightmare situation. I feel daily life makes it so that I do not even have enough time for my hobbies right now. All the things I have to do in my daily life takes so much away from my hobbies. You have to keep the house clean and all. You have to go out grocery shopping. You have to be at work, internships, education, whatever you do. You have to do all these things. And I feel for me that takes so much of my time and my energy, because I do not have a lot of energy. So putting a kid on top of that, I would never ever do hobbies then. I do not even do them that often now. There's a reason why I pre-record videos, and that is because in periods of my life, I simply do not have the time and the energy to film YouTube videos, because it does take a lot of time doing YouTube. So even me not having a kid, I feel as if it can be hard doing my hobbies, but having a kid on top of that would make it in. that'll make it impossible to do hobbies, because yeah, just in general, that's just like, for me, that's just a nightmare situation. And I hope this person, this man, somehow can find like some fulfillment in life. And again, as I said before, maybe that is in getting the kids babysit and just deciding that like house chores is something they can. It's all right that the house chores do not get done all the time, and just maybe take time to like do some hobbies once in a while. Maybe once a month you get the kids babysit. So somehow find like time to fulfill yourself, because otherwise you like going to slowly die, because the job of having kids just consumes everything. So yeah, guys, that was 5 stories from me today. I hope you enjoyed these stories, even though they're kind of similar. And if you do like me, you do like my channel, you do like what I talk about in these kind of videos, please remember to comment, like, and subscribe, and hit that bell so you get notified when I upload new videos. Bye, guys!